Ochnomed Falco.
Minister, I shared a post on social media, not to be in advance of this debate yesterday, but rather because it struck such a chord with me. The post in question was likely not written with Ireland in mind, but it speaks to a hard truth and a responsibility on present and future Irish generations to act. The post shared to me, which I circulated, reads, "Speak your native language to your children or watch it die within the next 20 years. Looking down on your relatives or friends who speak your native tongue because you speak perfect English is stupid. It is like being proud of borrowed clothes." Excuse me. As we contemplate Brexit, Minister, and the need for our country exporters to look to new market opportunities on the European mainland and beyond, we rarely consider language as a significant barrier. We have come to expect that customers in those countries have a reasonable proficiency in speaking English. It rarely impacts our thought processes that English is not in fact their mother tongue, but has been taught to them as part of their early school learning. How is it that so many people from Finland, Germany, Holland, Sweden, to name a few, can engage in conversation in English so often flawlessly, despite it being a second language for them? Many of them also speak a third language with equal ability. How is it that we in Ireland, who mandate our children begin learning Irish from national school age and on into secondary school, see so many pupils graduate without the ability to carry on even informal Irish conversation after 14 years of education? In fact, many students who decide to opt for other languages in secondary school, such as French, German and Spanish, leave with far greater proficiencies than these after 5 to 6 years of study than they have in Irish, which they have been taught for 14 years. As part of new technology sector developments, Irish students are being encouraged to learn Chinese, and it is a sad fact that many will develop greater ability to communicate in this language than in their cultural mother tongue. I accept the aspirations of the Official Languages Amendment Bill here today is to try to increase access for those who wish to engage with public sector services through the medium of Irish. I acknowledge implementation of steps in the bill may prove positive to improving frequency and some fluency in Irish language usage in our public service communications. But I would also say these steps alone will not be enough to secure Gaeilge as a contemporary used language in Ireland into the future. In our battle with COVID at present, there is a possible consideration of a circuit breaker announcement, that being a deliberate step change initiated by government and designed to completely reset the parameters of dealing with COVID disease transmission in this country. I believe such an action is now also required to reset and redefine our national attitude and the value we place on our national language if we are serious about preserving this mother tongue. As Irish people, we often take pride in the international recognition of our venerated names, our culture, our traditions, yet often we fail to associate or acknowledge that cultural development was largely communicated and facilitated through the medium of our Gaelic language. In truth, Minister, our inability to secure Irish as a working requisite language in this country is because of its deliberate downgrading within the outlines of what constitutes national identity and its modern disassociation with Brand Ireland. In our Ireland of 2020, a large proportion of our Irish citizens speak English as their mother tongue. We consider ourselves intrinsically different to the rest of Europe, although many of us cannot carry a conversation in the language of our forebears. Such a situation would be laughed at in France, Germany, Finland, Sweden, and so many more countries I could mention. I believe our country requires an Irish language circuit breaker moment, and though this bill is welcome, Minister, this is not it. To preserve Irish as a working language, I believe Ireland now needs a new national debate on how we value the language, the way in which it is taught in our schools, how we can integrate it into daily use so as to defend our Gaelic culture and traditions, so that we can message widely that we continue to retain a unique history, perspective and identity. In truth, Minister, to achieve such a goal, government might need to announce legislation and custodial sentences outlawing the teaching or speaking of Irish in Ireland, given our long history is largely framed in that we only value something when a threat exists that others may take it away. As an interim step in securing use of our native language, I welcome the Official Languages Amendment Bill being debated in the House today. I see it as somewhat of a bulwark to the national erosion and loss of our ability to converse in our mother tongue. The bill provides for an objective of 20% of recruits to the public service to be competent in Irish, which I welcome, the introduction of language standards in place of language schemes, the national plan for the provision of Irish language services and the accommodation of public bodies ICT to the representation of a person's name, Os Gaeilge. The proposed establishment of an Irish Language Service Advisory Committee also welcome, which will oversee the drafting of the national plan for the provision of public services through Irish, setting strategies for public bodies to employ and increase the provision of services through Irish, and increasing the numbers of staff who are competent in Irish. I would question, however, Minister, the inclusion of just one member nominated by the Minister as a representative of the Gaeltacht area. This is hardly the level of representation that our Irish language speakers need, and neither does it convey to me the appropriate level of engagement or commitment by government to the issue of Irish people being able to communicate effectively Os Gaeilge with public institutions and with each other. As Ireland moves to a more multicultural society, we must embrace the challenges that brings, but also capitalise on the opportunities. We have a unique and a proud history, unparalleled impact on world affairs, given our small size, and we have a diaspora that spans the globe and is counted in millions. Our Irish language is a natural resource, unique in the world, a resource that we have cultivated like our landscape. We must honour it and protect it, but to do that we must use it. In using it, we must emphasise that it is the one unique characteristic that an Irish person can carry abroad as a beacon of nationality and use at home as an anchor to a proud and cultural tradition. Tír gan teanga, tír gan anna, Minister. Go on,